Yes, fellow Ambazonians, this is your humble servant, your very own Tico child, the son of the soil. The son of the soil, your own son of the soil is here. And as promised, to come on live today with Mr. Christian Wonso, who is the Assembled Clerk of the Biafra National Council. We are here to talk about the Biafra Ambazonian Alliance and to talk about in details the proclamation that was made live by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of the IPOB and AGC Dr. Ayaba Lucas. So I am going to bring my guest at some point. Mr. Christian also is going to join us. He's very strong activist of the Biafra struggle for independence of the Biafran Republic. As a freedom fighter myself, I support all those around the globe who are fighting for their freedom. So as you join this live show, you share the live show, Ambazonians. And I think that this is the breakdown of the so-called alliance that was proclaimed on Facebook some days ago by the AGC leadership and Nnamdi Kanu. So this live show is just starting today, and if you are here, if you don't like what I'm saying, you can comment and insult me as you like, but you are not going to stop me from speaking the truth to Ambazonians. And we are at a time in this struggle, comrades, that we must be able to give the hard stuff to Ambazonians, the hard facts to Ambazonians, to our people. Even if they are not what they want to hear, but we have to tell them. And that is my duty in this struggle. And those of you who know that even Jesus Christ was not loved by the people. And John the Baptist was never loved. All the good prophets in the Bible, none of them were loved because they say the things that the people didn't like to hear. But that was the message and the truth they stick on. So I am going to stick on the truth only. And that is going to be what I'm going to be doing in this struggle. And no matter the circumstances, no matter the hate speech, the insult, no matter the target by the groups, the tribes, we are going to stay focused, Ambazonians. So this is your humble servant, the son of the soil, Tico Child is here. Share the link. Let us start this live show. We'll wait for a while so others can join. Others can join us. So.
Assistant Vice President for Digital Services and Chief Information Officer, Office of Technology and Digital Services, American University of Nigeria. Here, far, I reach out to many, I joke, I can't get any.
Let's wait for others to join us. Let's wait for a few minutes. Our guest, Mr. Christian Wonso, is there waiting also. Let's wait for others to join. Let others join us. Let's have this conversation. Well, comrades, I think that while we wait for others to join us, I can personally address some few issues before we go into the subject matter of the day today. So, Ambazonians, really, you know, our people have been enslaved for 55 years. And when we are trying to free enslaved, situation that people are confused, people are misinformed, people have no proper understanding of reality. You know, so comrades, this struggle is about freeing Southern Cameroon. And I always like to repeat all the time, I stand for nothing but the independence of Southern Cameroon. I don't care who free Ambazonians, I don't care who is going to do it, but the issue is to free Southern Cameroon. Now, take note what I'm saying. I said I don't care who free Ambazonia, but it's very important how we free Ambazonia. How do we free Ambazonia is a very important question that we must address as a people. So these are the things that Ambazonia need to know. How do we prosecute this struggle to free our people? The means, the method, the cost on Ambazonians, the cost of the human cost of life, financial cost and everything. We have to talk about all the stuff. It's very important. Now, some of you think that everyone who is in this struggle is interested in power, is interested in making money, is interested in having a position. But I have repeatedly shown to Ambazonians, listen, before this struggle started, some of us were already activists, doing our stuff, living in the diaspora, in Europe or in America, wherever they are. Some of us came to this struggle. Someone like me, go and ask around in Europe. We were the ones who organized the Brussels conference, install people like Milan, create the Skakoof stuff, bring things and took the struggle from the consortium, supported Mark Barat and Tapang Ivo, push the struggle forward to where it is today. I never asked for any money, position or popularity. I never did. I have never done that. So when some of you come online, you think you have insult, you come to insult people. You think that some of us, our only job is this struggle. It's not. We have our lives that we live as well. But we are sacrificing for the Southern Cameroons. But it has become our people, at this very junction, people have normalized insult. They have normalized misinformation. People have normalized attacking and bullying people online. And that is why you see many good Southern Cameroonian activists and people are silent. They run away from the social media because of the insult of groups, certain groups. You see, Ambazonians, I have been talking recently using the word tribes and tribalists. And many Ambazonians don't understand what I mean. I don't mean tribes as to you are coming from Momo, Ondian or Fako. No. You know, those groups you have in this struggle, they have become tribes. The groups are now tribes. The Sako group is the tribe of Sako Ikome. They are acting like a tribe, a close tribe. Some of the groups in this struggle now they are acting like a cult. If somebody is saying anything good in this struggle, and if it's against their group, they will not reason with you. They will come against that what you are saying. This is what it has become. They don't care what you are saying. They just look at, are you in our group? Are you in our tribe? If you're not in the tribe, they will react like a tribalist. The AGC, the AGC group, I like to recall to Ambazonians always. When it was the advisory council of the AGC, I was one of the founding core members there. When the SCY was joined, Akwanga was there with Dr. Ayaba Lucas. I was there. We formulated, and AGC is now a grand, big organization. I am not there. I don't have any jealousy about AGC. I respect and I have very high respect for Dr. Ayaba Lucas. All the AGC leadership, all of them. Dr. Larry Ayamba, these are people I see them as my big brothers. I respect these people. But when it comes to this struggle, I will speak my truth to the people of Southern Cameroon without being afraid of anyone. I will not be afraid. I will not be backed down by any person. So when I see some Ambazonians are getting confused and caught between their tribal lines of their groups, and they expect everybody to toe the line, or they'll bully you. Some people think because they have a TV channel on social media, because They are on social media every day talking, using screenshots, putting your videos and doing stuff. You know, they think they have a big microphone. They speak for all Ambazonians and they control Ambazonians. No. Many Southern Cameroonians these days are silent. They don't talk. They are not because they agree with what you are doing. They are silent because they are tired of your insults. I have blocked a reasonable number of Ambazonians on my Facebook page. Reasonable numbers. And every day, it keeps increasing. Because people have lost their rational thinking. The only thing they think about, the formation of their thoughts is based on their tribal lines. If you are not AGC, they don't listen to you. If you're not from Sakoe group, they don't listen to you. That is what they are doing these days. But that is not going to win Ambazonia for you or for anyone. That is not going to do that. Don't waste your time for some of us. Listen, go and ask around. I'm a kid who was raised on the street in Tico. If you are talking about insult, bad mob, those things, we grow with those things in the Southwest. All those talk and insult online doesn't do anything to me. It instead encourages me to do what I'm doing. Because when people are resist, people feel angry what you are saying. Sometimes it's not only because you are wrong, but because you are speaking the truth. You are speaking the truth to them. So I will tell Ambazonians, this struggle is not paying me any money. This struggle have never paid me. I have been putting money in this struggle from day one till today. I have been traveling around the globe to meet people and to talk for Southern Cameroon, spending my own personal money. Nobody have ever sponsored anything. But again, I don't come around to make noise. I don't come around to make noise. But listen, I am happy that some people think that their only solution is insults. You know, and that is a sign that they have no argument to make. Nothing to make. So, I just want to tell you guys that if your insult and all those things is nothing. You see, Capo Daniel went on live the other day making live show about me and putting stuff. Thank you for the stupid publicity that I don't even need. I don't even need. I make my live shows on my page here alone. They get more views, more than those of Capo Daniel and the others who sit on the TV channels to do their stuff. We're not talking about views anyway. I don't even need them. I don't make any publicity. I just come here and I make my live show and I go. I don't need to be popular. Please, don't follow me. Your following doesn't pay me any stuff. It doesn't. It doesn't. If you are following me because you want me to say sweet things to you so you can clap and we rejoice, we say, yeah, Eugene, good guy, yeah. No, we cannot be fooling ourselves online. We cannot be fooling ourselves on social media. I will not do that. I will not. I will not. So if you are in that group, you want me to be saying things that please your group, please, I will not do that. Don't follow me. Don't even come on my Facebook page and writing nonsense. I will not read them. I don't. Facebook is not even important for this struggle. We are talking to ourselves on Facebook, not to the international community. But we are doing things behind the scene for diplomacy, for other stuff, helping refugees in Nigeria and other places. Not on Facebook. Even the AGC that is attacking me. Until recent, that I stopped putting my money in the AGC because their method of doing things by attacking people and bullying them online, it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't. Ayaba is saying one thing. Oh, we are here for democracy, for a free Ambazonia. We are a liberal people. We have tolerance. And then his bulldogs, Capo Daniel and the rest, they come online. They attack Ambazonians and insult people. We know all those tactics. We know them. We know them. We know them. But let me come to the core of the matter. The Ambazonian so-called alliance that was proclaimed by AGC with the Biafra. Ambazonians. When people are saying these things, it's not that somebody hate anyone or we are jealous. You say jealousy, jealousy. Jealousy for what? For what? We are only concerned with Southern Cameroons. Listen, Ambazonians. Listen. Until you, I don't know what I'm going to, listen, let me put this very simple. Let me put this very simple. Our struggle is doing just fine. We don't need any alliance with the Biafrans. We don't need it. We don't need an alliance. This is a topic that I'm going to exhaust in another day. But I want to make Ambazonia know, many Southern Cameroonian leaders, all of the leaders that you know, they don't like and they don't agree to this alliance. But they are silent. They don't come to talk on social media because they are afraid of your bullying. Bulldogs will come after them. Bulldogs will come after them. That's why everyone is silent. They are afraid to talk. They are afraid to talk because of the insult and the rant on social media. But me, the Tico child, I will not be afraid. I will be online and I will talk to Ambazonians. If you care, you insult me from Genesis to Revolution, from Monday to Sunday. I will not go away. I will stay there on that page to speak the truth. And I will continue to do that. Let me tell you guys something. Any alliance with the Biafra is going to destroy our struggle. It is going to destroy our struggle. Clear. I can clearly come to you to explain these things to you. All of these things. But I don't have time. But today I will bring my guests and we talk about the Ambazonian Biafra alliance. If we want to have an alliance with the Biafra, how can we make the alliance? What should be in that alliance? How should we go about this thing? That's what I want to talk about today. And then for another day, we are going to talk about the breakdown and the international understanding of this so-called alliance. So today I will focus on the process of an alliance with the Biafra. And who are the Biafrans? That's what I'm going to focus on today. So, but I just want to say this very clear. It's a wrong move to go to join the Biafrans. It's a wrong move that doesn't benefit Ambazonia. It doesn't. And if you want to know why, wait for another live show I'm going to make to explain you everything. To explain everything to you. So I will wait for a few minutes now to get my guests to join me. And but before that, I think that perhaps this is time to start the Amber Anthem and then get this live show started. So that was just my opening statement. Hail this land of glory, we the Ambazonians who pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us our freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bought the land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise to never to fall. Yeah, in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Yes, fellow comrades. Now I think that this live show is officially starting. And let me see if my guest is there. Mr. Christian. Oh, so if you are there, you can put a comment so I can invite you through a comment, through the comment. You have to comment so I can bring you on, comrade. You have to put a comment there so I can bring you on. So Ambazonians, nobody is here online for money making, salary making, views, popularity. No, nobody is doing that. You need to ask around. All right, my guest is there. Let me see. Bring him on camera. I am adding him to join me. Please hit share and invite others. Share the link. Guess it's been added. All right, there we go. Mr. Christian, can you hear me?
Yes, Foka, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. Nice to have you here. I appreciate and I really appreciate your time. You're a very busy man, a very busy person. And I appreciate that you could spare this time to talk to Ambazonians. So thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you about our common struggle of freedom. So, Mr.
Thank you
Christian,
for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So I know many people who are watching, they don't know who are you. So I would like you to introduce yourself to our guests. Just tell briefly, who are you and, you know, where are you from? And just general introduction, shortly, briefly, but we are going to talk more about those things.
Okay, thank you. Greetings to Ambazonians and fellow Biafrans alike, hearing the sound of my voice at this point in time. I am Christian Wosu, a Biafran citizen from the Okigwe province. And in the course of this struggle, I am the Assembly Clerk of the Biafra National Council. And also an activist in my own rights, who advocates for human capacity, human rights, in whatever shape or form. That is a brief analogy. And by profession, I'm an electrical engineer by profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And really, we are glad to have someone like you. Anyway, so you mentioned something, the Biafra National Council. What is a Biafra National Council? And when was it formed? In fact, let me not even go so deep. I want us to go slowly. When somebody is talking about the Biafra terms, how many people, how many population, what is the population of Biafra? What is the various tribes or ethnic groups that make up the Biafra people? Because sometimes it's easy people to confuse that the Biafrans are just the Igbo people.
First of all, your first question, what is when Biafra National Council was formed?
Yeah.
Biafra National Council in a whole is a coalition of groups, not a group. It is a coalition of groups because we understand in the course of this struggle, the rebirth of the cause of the freedom agitation for Biafra, 1999, as spearheaded by Masob, the leader of Masob, Chief Rafu Wazirike. Over time, we've seen groups emerge from nowhere, still discussing one thing or talking one thing, freedom for Biafra. But in as much as these groups crops up, they keep doing different approaches and not having that bond or interest to work together. Hence, Biafra National Council was birthed. And we have so many groups that undersign into Biafra National Council. And since then, we'll be kicking. That is a coalition on its own side. But the big deal now, there is a big deal now. The big deal now is a government, Biafra de facto customary government. Because we understand something. This government encompasses almost all the group independence groups within the Biafran, pursuing the Biafran cause, except IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu. Every other groups have given their consent and has aligned themselves, their structures and all whatnots into this government. So the big deal, we should be looking at the big picture now, which is Biafra de facto government. Now I come to your question, who are Biafrans?
Exactly.
A Biafran is a spirit. Biafran means freedom. Biafra means love. Not just freedom for Biafra, but freedom for the whole Black African race. The size population of Biafra, as the statistics we have, because there's never been a detailed census yet. As far as we know, Biafra is over 70 million people as population. Over 70 million people. And you may want to ask how big is the territorial landmark of Biafra? It's over 36,400 square miles. So Biafra is pretty large, embodied with so many natural endowments, oceans, and all whatnot. It's a beautiful place you may wish to visit. And you talked of what tribes constitute Biafra. There are so many nations that summed up the nation Biafra. We have the Igbo nation, which you may want to liken it or more in number by population. We have the Ijaw nation. We have the Oron. We have the Anang. We have the Ibibio. We have the Efik. Are you getting it? We have the Urobo. We have the Sekiri. Yeah. And so many. We have so many tribes in the Biafran nation. And all these tribes put together, have their representatives in the government I just mentioned, Biafra de facto government.
Yeah.
Where they discuss as a ruling council or governing council, where they discuss the welfare of Biafra and then pursue it after rigorous debates. Whatever resolutions they have becomes a law. So that is it. So any group who is so-called agitating for Biafra that has not aligned himself or itself to the government, it's just a waste of time. And anybody, just like we saw on the pages of on social media, so-called alliance, a charade of its own. It is laughable and it doesn't resonate. That's the truth. Thank you.
Okay, good. That's a very good introduction that you just gave to us, and I want us to go bit by bit. And I want us to peel this thing layer by layer and slowly. You talk about the Biafran National Council. You talk about the various tribes that constitute the various nations that made up the Biafran nation. You mentioned the Igbo nation. And then you talked about the de facto Biafran government. Now I'm going to ask a question. How can Biafra have a government in Nigeria fighting to free Biafra when the Nigerian government is against that? How does that work on the ground? Can you explain to us? How is that possible?
Yes, if you look at the United Nations Article Rights on Indigenous People, 2007 as documented, it gives us the right of assembly. It gives us the right to organize ourselves as a people. These are provisions
is that against the Nigerian constitution as well? Because you are trying to
No, there are even the Nigerian constitution, even the Mr. Ufoka, even the Nigerian constitution has some injunctions into it that gives that rights for indigenous assembly, indigenous government of its own kind. You may call it customary, in the customary angle. This is enshrined in the Nigerian constitution, which gave rights to why we have what you call the Arewa in the northern region of Nigeria. You call them Arewa, or even giving them what they call Sharia law or whatnot. Aside the secular law we have, constitution we have in Nigeria. So these things are there. And one thing to take away here is, if you are agitating for freedom, you do not look at what your host, so do I call them slave masters, would think. Yeah. It's just like an apprentice who wants to be free. You will do everything. You may call it civil disobedience. You will do everything to extricate yourself from such bondage. Am I correct? So having government we don't have regards for Nigerian constitution or no Nigerian constitution, because as a matter of fact, the constitution itself is not our making. It is a forced constitution on the people, and proclaimed that we the people attested to that. It is not our making. So if whatever the government, de facto government is doing, it is the only government known and visible on ground that Biafrans listen to. That is it.
So, but can the Nigerian government not arrest this de facto government on the ground or they are protected by the constitution, like you just explained?
Of course, you know, Africa is one black nation that has black minds.
Yeah.
What do I mean by black minds? They don't have regards for even what they have as constitution. That is Africa for you. Are you getting it? And I have said this countless of time. There is no nation in Africa today that has become a nation aside the European colonized or giving independence to whatever countries as they balkanized it into, that has brought Nigeria to being. We are, first of all, we are not afraid of arrest. We are back home with a visible structure. We are not afraid of arrest. If they arrest us today, the gospel must continue. There are other people who will champion it. And so it does not warrant us to engage the government in a loud manner, so to say. But if they come after us, we have what it takes. We have what it takes, and we are here already. And the government is not going back. It's a government that has been centralized, and it must continue. That is what it is.
All right. That's very good. I just want to get those things clear as we go slowly into this. So you talk about the various nations that made up the Biafra as a state. So now the IPOB of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you said, are they just mainly the Igbos, or are there other people that are involved in the IPOB?
IPOB is a small group of its own kind, dominated by Igbo. I can say 99% are Igbos as their membership. That is, they've been recalcitrant, and I can tell you, IPOB is only visible on the social media. That is what it is. It's just a group on social media.
So I want us to touch something now. So the proclamation that was made by the AGC, which is also one group in Ambazonia, also, you know, Ambazonia, and we are going to come talk about Ambazonia struggle. AGC, the AGC, it was the AGC, now they metamorphosed into AGC. They have, there's like a government, kind of way AGC is kind of a government, you know. So so now they have this alliance with the IPOB, and then they brand that as the entire Biafra. Is that not misleading? Is that really do the AGC have like this alliance with the Biafra National Council, or is just, what is the difference there? Because people are confused. People think that the IPOB is the Biafra, entire Biafra.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to the Amba Nation. I want to apologize to you people for being misled by one of our lunatic sons called Nnamdi Kanu. And Dr. Ayaba, I think he is learned enough to have understand that when you see a lunatic fellow and you make such romance in the name of a nation or on behalf of a nation, it becomes a caricature. It's a charade on its own, and it is non-committal. As a matter of fact, it is equivocal on the part of Biafra. It is not acceptable, and whatever alliance or agreements they may have had, it ends on social media. It does not resonate with the Biafran nation. That is just true. So if they want to, yes, go ahead, please.
We are going to go into the nitty-gritty of those stuff, those alliance and the nature, and what, like, how it resonates to the people on the ground in Nigeria, in Biafra, and in Nigeria, and in Ambazonia also. But let us back down. Let us take some few step back. You know, I want us to go slowly. Now, do you know of the Ambazonian struggle? How much do you know of the Ambazonian struggle?
At least to an extent, a concise information I have. As you know, I cannot know better than you, who is an Ambazonian. Yeah. For the records, we have some form of interactions with some of your leaders in the previous past, and we've seen ourselves as two nations in one kind of dilemma, how to extricate our people out of the dungeon, the congestion called Cameroon and Nigeria as a state. You agree with me that we share alike same maltreatment, and hence our vigorous resolve to extricate ourselves. So the much information I have within Ambazonia, and I know that is why I said, first of all, I appreciate those of you who have been talking for your freedom, because Africa needs to get to where it is, and we must do, as a matter of fact, and urgently too, distort that which the colonial masters have brought upon our people.
You talk about having some meetings with Ambazonian leaders in the past. Which of those leaders that you know that you have met in any place, in any meetings? Like when you talk about
there is.
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead, please.
When you talk about Ayaba Lucas, do you know the man? Have you ever met him? When you talk about the other Ambazonian leaders, like who are those?
Okay, I have not met Chu, but we have had conversations via the telephone one or two times. And also, there is one of your frontline leader also, when we were trying to formulate OAIES or IC, something like that, Organization of Emerging African States. Your armed struggle started, some of your leaders also, they consulted some of our leaders also, and in trying to see how things can be uhuru for Southern Cameroon. So we've met concise leadership, so many of them. Maybe not me per person, but at least for some of them, I've engaged them over the telephones.
We have like there's Akwanga, there is the Sisiko.
Yes, Akwanga, precisely. Akwanga was the man who spearheaded the Organization of Emerging African States. So even the meeting at Ghana, I wasn't physically present, but we sent representatives, and I've been in touch. We've been in talk terms.
All right. All right. Without being said, I think that we can be moving forward now. We're talking about the Ambazonian Biafra Alliance. And I don't know, we just have to use that terminology anyway to call it the Ambazonian Biafra Alliance. I think maybe we need to call it the Ambazonia, the AGC IPOB Alliance. Now, does that resonate, to the people of Biafra? What, we just saw a couple of weeks ago?
As I said, that is a charade of its own. And in black and white, it doesn't resonate with the Biafran nation. It ends on that social media where it was constructed, and that is where it ends. If you've been listening to the social media, I don't know, maybe on the Biafran divide, I don't know how much the Ambazonians are on the internet when it comes to the freedom matters. On the divide of the Biafran side, it has even ended on social media. Nobody talks about it, even on that same social media where they contracted it. So nobody even talks about it. So on the streets of Biafra land, on the ground zero, it doesn't resonate with our people. It's just one thing. Our people see it as one of our loquacious lunatic son who wants to exercise maybe his own quest for popularity contest. To go into issues of bilateral nature as it pertains, concerns Biafra and Ambazonia. If we want to do, if there is need for bilateral relationship with Ambazonia at this point in time, there is a right channel, and I expected Dr. Ayaba to have known this, as intelligent as he is, other than allowing himself to be fooled in this kind, and by extension, the Southern Cameroonians or Ambazonia in that manner. Biafrans are not accepting whatever they may have talked. Of course, we've not seen anything tangibly. If you checked, if you've listened, watched their statements on the social media, There's no itemized area or concretized areas of relationship as they proclaimed. So it doesn't resonate. It's just a thing of the social media, and it has ended on social media already.
Yeah. So many Ambazonians are asking this question, like, you know, what was the content of that press briefing? Like, what was there? You just said that there was actually nothing, because when I have watched that video time and time again, you know, but there was no particular, you know, facts or strategy or like, this is what we are going to do. It was just empty talks on social media. And those things also, we have this kind of thinking and fear that, is this good enough to provoke the Nigerian government to perhaps take action against Ambazonians in Nigeria or in Ambazonian land? Is this, do you think the Nigerian government will see this as a threat? Because the argument is that, okay, they are trying to mess up the Gulf of Guinea. They are trying to get the Nigerian government to be angry and to do something for Ambazonia. Do you think the Ambazonian government, the Nigerian government can see this alliance between the AGC and the IPOB as a threat enough for them to react, to push them to act?
Just as I said earlier, it ends on social media. It has no facts, it has no bites, it has no teeth. Nigerian government on their own kind, not to appraise them, they are idiots on their own rights. But the truth of the matter is, the man on the side of Biafra, who in quote has signed or whatever he claimed he must have discussed with Ayaba, he is not a serious fellow. Even the Nigerian state knows him not to be a serious fellow. He's just a loquacious son of ours. Unfortunately, he's our son. We cannot throw him away. But just I have apologized to the Ambazonian people to not take to heart whatever our lunatic son must have done in conjunction with their own son or your own son, Ayaba. It doesn't resonate with anybody, even in Nigeria. Nobody is talking about it because it doesn't have substance not to even dwell on. As a matter of fact, as I said, Kanu himself discussing bilateral issues that concerns Biafra and Ambazonia. Who did he consult in Biafra land before undertaking such bilateral relations? As I said, Biafra now have a government, indigenous government, de facto government headed by one of our sons, Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari, with a governing council that comprises all, I mean all, no one tribe left in Biafra land. They all have their representatives in that government. Who did he consult before making such proclamation? Have you yourself, Mr. Foka, have you seen any white paper or any documents showing what details of their so-called charade? Have you seen any? Do you just come up, just the way we are on social media now, I and you, we just come up and say we proclaim the bilateral relationship for Ambazonia. Who did we consult? So it is not something you hold to heart. As I said, is a thing that has ended. If it has even ended on social media. If you check social media, nobody talks about it anymore.
In fact, we can proclaim our own relationship, bilateral relationship between. Oh no. All right. This makes me laugh. Actually, it makes me laugh. But what you are saying is actually the truth. You see, and our people don't like the truth. Something is really seriously wrong with Africans. By the time you are telling them the truth, they are attached to their emotion and a love to a person. All you are saying here is actual fact that anybody with common sense should know. That you cannot just go out and say you have a bilateral relationship with one person in a nation without the others. It doesn't work.
Yes, as I said, Mr. Foka, listen, and may I take this as my statements to Ambazonia in entirety. Biafra have an indigenous government headed by a governing council and with the chairperson Alhaji Dokubo Asari. Even Ayaba should be in the know. You should know that name. If you type on the Google, on the internet, Just type Mujahid Dokubo Asari, it will pop up. You see what he has done, who he is, and all whatnot. As this government has been instituted, if there is need for Ambazonia and Biafra to have a common understanding or a relationship going forward as relates to this cause for freedom fighting, it is the government, indigenous de facto government of Biafra, that your people, not even Chio himself, your elders will meet with the governing council of Biafran government to discuss nitty-gritty. And as a matter of fact, one on top the burner that must be considered is the issue of Bakassi Peninsula. Did they mention that to anybody? Chio, Ayaba, and our lunatic son, Nnamdi Kanu, did they discuss that? What is their own one-on-one agreement on that matter? Bakassi is at the front burner in the mind and in the hearts of the Biafran people. Our people in that region has been displaced, the Oron nation. And then one idiot comes up and tells us he's making, what's it called? A childish game on social media in the name of bilateral relations. There is nothing of some sort. As I said, it doesn't resonate with Biafran people. If you people have given him money, if Chio has given him money, you know, that guy likes some little crumbs coming that falls from the master's table. Nnamdi Kanu, I mean. If you have given him money, go and collect your money back. He does not speak for Biafra, and is not. He doesn't have the rights or privileges to talk in that manner. On that matter.
We have exhausted that point about the mandate of IPOB. I want us to move forward to, because Ambazonians are, you know, we don't know a lot of what is happening within the Biafran struggle, and people just get stuff as they see on social media, most likely. There's this talk about the army of the IPOB. Can you explain more about that army? Like, because the idea is like, okay, they are going to help Ambazonians with ammunitions and training. The army of Nnamdi Kanu.
I want to believe you. What you presume is the Eastern Security Network, ESN. They unveiled on social media also. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think that's the ESN. Yeah, that one. Yeah, we saw videos of hundreds of men.
There is nothing like, read my lips, my brother, and tell this to the Ambazonians, those who are watching me here. ESN ended that same week. It was publicized. What they did was to deceive the Biafran youth that they would be paying them salaries. Many of our youth, of course, are jobless at this point in time. They all ran into that place without even form of training. Have you seen their videos where they give them stick, just some cassava stick to hold as gun? That was what they trained them with, so-called training. And after 2 weeks or a week after, these children started asking what is their remuneration and salaries, because they've left the little jobs they may have been doing and went to join their camp. And at the end, nothing happened. No remuneration. All these boys left them. Now, all they've done is to recruit some few courtists back home. You know, this university courtesan. They've recruited some few, maybe a handful of 20 or so boys, and armed them with some few rifles they stole from. There was a very violent protest in Nigeria just last year, which was called NSAS protest. So the very few ammunitions they got from that NSAS activities, they handed these boys, which they have now degenerated into terrorism. The very few, about 20 of them, tagged themselves by the name unknown gunmen. They've degenerated into terrorism. So how do you expect such? Is that a serious security outfit? There is nothing of some sort. And as a matter of fact, there's a new security outfit already. One from the government side, which they called Ebubago, but that one is inconsequential anyway. It's just on the pages of paper. And there is one security outfit also. There's a group on their own who has emerged called Biafran Army. If you see them, you know they mean business. So Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to offer anybody. Have you seen? Tell your Chio Ayaba, I know it's not on ground zero. Tell your army guys, those of your men who leads the combatants on the ground zero, if they've seen anyone within called ESN within the borders. This is just childish arrangements.
I get your point on those. You have been very clear on those issues. You have been very clear on those issues, and I would like us now to look at this thing, because many Ambazonians think that the Biafrans are like one group, you know, one group. Because I think you know that they are, for Ambazonians on our side, we have now, this is like the number 8 government we're having, and at the moment we have like 3 governments existing. The AGC is acting as a government. There's another government in Maryland. There's another government, you know, that is in prison. There's too many groups, you understand? So is that people think that the Biafrans are just one group. This is the point. They think that the Biafra is just IPOB. So I want to
not at all.
People.
Yes, not at all. As I said, IPOB is a social media group. They only operate on the social media with fake accounts and all whatnot. And our Loquacious son, who mans the radio and talks from Genesis to Revelation without substance. On the records, there are so many groups agitating for Biafra. And as I speak to you now, all these groups, they've joined force with the government. We have one government in Biafra land, which is Biafra de facto customary government. There is no other government in Biafra land. So anybody who tells you they are IPOBs, well, no, how can one tribe? IPOB is basically one tribe. Igbo speaking, Igbo nation speaking part of Biafra. They are just the ones who are the IPOBs. How can one tribe decide for over 13 tribes in Biafra land? Is that possible? So it is not.
13 nations, like 13 tribes. So the IPOB is just one
tribe. 12 or 13 thereabout. I may not be good with the statistics, but about 12 or 13. I can name them if you so wish.
All right. I think this is, we are not going to go into the details of the Bakassi Peninsula stuff and the what kind of deal and what kind of agreement on that Bakassi Peninsula. We are not going to that. Anyways, it's a topic. It's something for another.
No, but it is on the chest. In fact, it emblazons our minds as a Biafran people. No. That is why when we saw that video of the charade video of so-called proclamation, we were so angry, and some of us who understand what it is, that it's just a publicity stunt, we are not angry, but the majority of Biafrans are angry about that because what emblazoned our minds, which is the issue of Bakassi Peninsula, because our people within that region areas have been displaced, the Oron nation. So we cannot see one idiot talk about relationship in that manner without bringing this in context. This must be discussed. Even when your leaders or your elders so wish to have relationship with Biafra by talking with the government, the de facto government of Biafra, I think this will join on the front burner. That's the truth.
Yeah, like I said, that's something that we don't want to talk about those things now, because it's a very sensitive issue, and Ambazonians are, you know, are very emotional when you talk about these things, and people have different opinions and different, you know, ideas, and we don't want to bring. We understand that it's a very sensitive information, and bringing out the deal and the agreement on the Biafra to public, and the public has been a very troublesome issue in a way. So, but we'll keep that for there. So I think you have really explained to us, you know, a lot about the Biafran struggle, about the organization that is governing the Biafran people, about the IPOB and his Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's group, and also how if Ambazonians really want a good relationship with the Biafrans and what they can do to get that relationship. So I think I really thank you. Now I will take maybe about 30 minutes myself to say one or two things, then I can go. But I really thank you for your time, and I think that we can look forward in the future if there is any kind of, if there's any possibility of anything between Ambazonians and Biafra, we know where to go and we know how to do that. So I really thank you for your time, Mr. Christian. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. But I want to leave this word because I believe we are in the same predicament, Biafra and Ambazonia. You must put your acts together. Ambazonian people must come together. It is key, just as Biafra has done by setting up this government, a government that is seen on ground, a government that the people can reach out to. And as a matter of fact, as the heat of your armed struggle, because all I could see within the Ambazonia region is a defensive war you are fighting, which is not good for Ambazonia. Ambazonia must go to the offensive. Do not make mistake Biafra made 1967 by fighting defensive war. Unfortunately or fortunately for Ambazonia, the French as a nation, maybe their interest in Cameroon is not that too strong anymore. That is why they have not, that is why they governments to fight or kill you people in numbers. So you must look at the wider side by making the offensive, not defensive. Because if you fight a defensive war, you will lose out just Biafra lost 1967. And I can tell you, the best of army within that time fought like Biafrans. Biafrans are who they are, and when the time comes, if there's need for such a relationship, the only people who you can discuss with your leadership, not one man like Ayaba or even Akwanga, not one person. It is your elders who will come and meet with the Biafran elders within the government, which is the governing council. And then issues will be trashed out, a way forward will be given, and then it becomes a proclamation, not an internet one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the advice also about that Ambazonians. We need to come together. That's very clear. We need to come together. So thank you, Mr. Christian, and also for those who are involved and they are interested in the self-defense. Like you said, we need to go in the offensive, not to be only on the defensive. Thank you very much for your advice, and I wish you a great weekend, and we keep in touch.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, Ambazonians. I think that we heard from me, and there are things that I don't want us to talk about today. I know for some of you who come here today to get so-called give me the evidence, the fact, what they discuss about the Bakassi deal, blah blah blah. Nobody sent me as an investigative journalist, so you don't hold any right to question me to give you any evidence or any stuff. We are going to bring out our information when we want. That's the fact. And by the way, for some of you who are running your mouth online, Capo Daniel went on live last year. He said, I'm working for the Cameroon government. He said, everybody's working for Cameroon government. Eric Tato working for Cameroon government. Sako is working for Cameroon. Everybody. They never give any facts, so we don't bother about that. But let me say something to Ambazonians. I think I have a little bit of time here to say something. And I know that you are not happy to hear the truth. You have never been happy to hear the truth. At the moment, Ambazonians, the timing that we are bringing this alliance with, that they are talking about alliance to play this drum, this war drum beat of like, oh, you are trying to frighten the Nigerian government that you are having an alliance with the Igbo people of Biafra, and you're trying to scare the Cameroon government as well. No, this timing is very wrong, Ambazonians. Our struggle at the moment is doing just fine. We could continue to prosecute our struggle the way we are doing, and we are going to get to where we don't need any help from any other person, any other state. We don't need to do this particular move. It is not needed. It is not needed. And I think that those who think that this move is needed, they are thinking that we need to use brute force. They are thinking that we need to get more guns, more weapons, and fight our way to Yaoundé. Brute force. And that will not work, Ambazonians. Listen, time have changed. Time have changed. These are not the 60s where people were fighting freedom wars and they were using brute force to obtain their independence. Those days are gone. At this particular moment, for example, the threshold of the world for violence is very high. You would need to kill like 1 million people before the world is going to make any action, before they are going to be concerned about the level of evil. So when you think that you can use guns, only brute force, to get to Buea, then you are mistaken. You need to use diplomacy as well. Right now, I think what Ambazonians we're supposed to be doing is to invest time to find countries to bring them on and to get an international mediation between us and Cameroon. We are defeating Cameroon. Cameroon is crumbling already. Cameroon is a defeated state now. Cameroon is a failed government at the moment. So anybody who is rightfully thinking, we know that this is not the time to bring anyone else. Ambazonians alone can push Cameroon to the finish line. We can push Cameroon to the finish line. We need to focus to bring people on the table for a mediation. You know, this alliance now, this whatever if it can be, it only gives Cameroon more mandate to join force with Nigeria and fight Ambazonians, to fight even Biafrans, Igbo people in Ambazonia, in Cameroon as well, to attack them. More violence will not defeat Cameroon. It will not. It will not. Cameroon and Nigeria are now just being forced to become more friends, even though they are not even friends. The fact that Nigeria have not supported Ambazonians, and Nigeria might never support Ambazonians. Nigeria might never do that. But it doesn't mean Nigeria supports Cameroon as well. It doesn't. We know what is going on within the Nigerian government, what happened before the pick of our leaders in Naira. We know Nigeria is not in line with Cameroon. We know those things. We know those things. This alliance now is just going to push Nigeria more, this war talks, to become more friends with Nigeria. And even if you are making an alliance, even if you want to make an alliance with any people, do we need to come and talk about it in public on social media? Do you need to come and address the world and make those political stunts online? You don't need those things. You can form such an alliance, even if there is an alliance between AGC and the IPOB. These people can do these things on the ground without telling anyone. And even when they ask about this alliance, they can openly refuse that there's no alliance. There's no collaboration between them. This is how things are done. You don't just go on, meet someone, you have not even decided anything, you just come online to make a political stunt. And again, many Ambazonians will have an argument that we are not a separatist movement. We are not a separatist movement. And now we are trying to join ourselves with a group that is seen as a separatist group. I have high respect for Biafra people. I wish them the best in their struggle. But Ambazonia have a territory that was historically given to us. Ambazonia was United Nations trustee territory that was defined, marked by international law. The Anglo-German treaty, our borders were marked. We were supposed to have our independence. Our history is not the same. Our people need to understand this. Trying to put this unequal alliance together with a unilateral decision by one group is not right, Ambazonians. It's not right. When people are saying this thing, you think that, oh, it is jealousy, you hate this person, you hate that person. No, it's not so. We are speaking this the truth for people of Southern Cameroons. For people of Southern Cameroons. And some of you are talking about help. When the people of East Timor were fighting their freedoms, the Al-Qaedas and terrorist group offered them support. They refused because they knew that if they get any support from such groups, it damages their struggle. They refuse. The same in Sudan. They refuse. All of those, they refuse. The move to have any alliance with the Biafra is something Ambazonia should not do. Not because we don't like the Biafrans, we like them, we feel for them and we wish them the best. But our struggle, we need to stay on our own lane and let the Biafrans stay on their own lane as well. And even now we have an alliance with the Biafrans, for example, even if we have an alliance with the Biafrans, how is that going to work? What is going to be the sequence? Are we going to free Ambazonia first, then free Biafra after? Or are we going to join Biafrans and free Ambazonia? And are we going to join Biafra and free them first from Nigeria, and then they help us to free us from Cameroon? You said that, oh, if somebody is drowning, they will hang to even a snake. If you see Biafra, the situation is even not, Ambazonians have a better situation than the Biafrans at the moment. And you are sinking, you are hanging to a sinking person who is already drowning. You want to drown with them. You are not trying to save yourself. You are going to drown all of you. Some people said, oh, it's a win-win. It's not a win-win. It's a loss for Ambazonia to have any link with the Biafra movement. It is not right for Ambazonia to have any movement, any link with the Biafran people. It is not. It is not. Somebody is already drowning. You want to drown with them. He said you hang to anything. A drowning man will hang to anything. If you hang to a snake, the snake will still kill you anyway. You will not be free. If you are drowning, you want to save yourself, make effort to free yourself. Don't make effort that will only kill you faster than you die. These things are common sense. Are common sense. Look, for example, the recent situation is in Ethiopia. The Tigray movement and the political turmoil, the political crisis in Ethiopia. You know, let me explain to Ambazonia something. Ethiopia was ruled for a very long time by this tribe, this Tigray people, this TPLF tribe, their party, Tigray People's Liberation Front. For many years, a strong dictatorship. Then the Omoro people, where the Ethiopian current prime minister is not from, they went to fight with this TPLF to outrun this dictatorship. By then, you have to know that 30 years, the Eritreans are fighting with this same TPLF to get their freedom. So the Omoro people make a deal with the Eritreans. They join us, fight and defeat this dictatorship. When you do that, after that, we can offer you your freedom. That is how Eritrea got their freedom. That's how they got their freedom. They joined them and they fought. Now, this is what happened. Now, due to Corona situation, the Ethiopia Prime Minister postponed the election. Then the TPLF people said, no, we are not going to postpone the election. We are going to have election. They went on and organized their own election against the central government. And then they deposed military officials in their region because Ethiopia is a kind of a federation. Now, this is what happened. The Ethiopian central government started to fight the TPLF people in Tigray. The Ethiopian government received help from Eritrea. Of course, Eritreans have been long time and they are life enemy to the TPLF. So when they got the offer from the Ethiopian central government to join them and fight them, they got in. They fought, and people saw, this is recent news, this is recent history. People saw Eritrean soldiers in Tigray. They saw them there. But the Ethiopian government refused that there is no collaboration. They didn't have any help from them to defeat those people. Even countries who have independence, who are sovereign states, they will never agree that they have some kind of alliance with another country fighting to free themselves from another country. They never do that. They will never do that. Even independent states. And then you are talking about a movement that is still struggling for their own freedom. What makes you think that the Biafran can help Amazonia? The Biafra themselves, who are struggling to free themselves also. If the Biafra was even an independent nation, it would be great. Honestly, it would be great. But they are still struggling to free themselves. Two slaves struggling to free themselves. Who is going to help who? How does that work, Ambazonians? How? How? When people are saying these things, you start to insult them. You start to run insult. Nobody is saying this thing because they have anything to gain. It's for the good of Southern Cameroons. It's for the good. Even independent nations. And people don't understand how things work. Do you know that from the proclamation that was made on Facebook by Nnamdi Kanu and Dr. Ayaba Lucas, they sent clear, open threat to the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government can use just that video to target Ambazonian activists, to target AGC elements, activists in Nigeria and their soldiers. Nigerian government, in fact, can organize a commando mission, an attack in Ambazonia, AGC soldiers. In Ambazonia, they can do that in the name of fighting foreign threat to Nigerian sovereignty. They can do it. That is the same law, the same principle the Americans used to fight Taliban, Al-Qaeda's. That's the same principle every country used to fight terrorist groups. The same. The same. But anyway, these people are all knowing. They claim they know everything more than any Ambazonians. They must speak for everyone. These things we need to tell Ambazonians the truth. This struggle is going well. People are doing fantastic job on the ground. General Arike, many other groups are there on the ground. Even the AGC, the big Robagon project is doing well. We don't need this Biafra stuff. We don't need it. We don't. When people are saying this stuff, people think that it is out of hatred. We don't need the IPOB movement. It's the IPOB. We don't need this IPOB alliance. We don't. So for you guys who think that it is jealousy, it is hatred, blah, 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 please, time will tell. Time will tell. And we are going to bring you people information and stuff within these things as time is going. We are not going to rush to reveal information because you are crying for it. No, we are not. We are going to keep what we know and what we have. And when the time will come, we will see. The same like when the Swiss talk came, we said this is not going anywhere. Some of you didn't listen. The same way they created the government, we said this thing is not going anywhere. You people didn't listen. I respect the AGC. I respect their leadership. But to be honest, they move to join with the IPOB and make empty threats to Nigerian government and Cameroon. Nah, come on. It's just a political stunt. It is a political stunt. It's a very negative move to this struggle. Every Southern Cameroonian leader, all the groups. Do you know how many Ambazonian people have been calling me to say, Eugene, stand firm, what you are doing is true? All the leaders, all of them that you know, I don't want to call their names, all of Ambazonian that you know, they have been calling to me to say, young man, you are doing great. You are doing great. Because they are afraid themselves to come and talk about it. They are afraid. I will sacrifice my life for Southern Cameroon. I will. Even the Facebook thing. Talk, insult, do whatever you want. Even if I die for this struggle, my life is not better than Mami Api life or Baby Martha's life. It's not. Ambazonians need no relationship or alliance with the IPOB or any group. Our struggle is doing just fine. We need to stick to our gunboot diplomacy. We need to stick to our block by block method. We need to stick to equipping our soldiers on the ground, reinforcing our self-defense, and pushing Cameroon out block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. AGC is good at doing that. Let them continue doing that. Let them continue doing that. Not what they are. They want not know what they are doing now. So these things, when we are saying them, it is not because we have anything to gain. We are saying them because it is the truth. We have had many meetings. We have meetings with many international institutions and very high-level persons, even at the UN, at the African Union. And they are saying, like, if you join yourself to the IPOB, you guys are lost. But those with the loud microphones and loudspeakers on social media, they are leading the way. But we are here and we shall be fighting. We shall be doing our own very best. Now I see all your comments. Some people said that oh, it's very funny. He's agent of Cameroon. He's agent of Cameroon. He's Black Lake. He's agent of Cameroon. It's sad. It's sad, but it is very complicated, Ambazonians. It is. I understand the mindset. You don't expect to free enslaved people and think they don't be confused. People are confused. People don't reason straight. They don't. They don't. It is not easy. The liberation is not a walk in the park. So people like us that we are on social media, we put our face in front, we expect to be insulted. We expect to be bullied. We expect to be called names. We know that. But the so-called alliance with the AGC and the IPOB is not going to bring any benefit to the struggle of Southern Cameroons. No benefit. If I am proven otherwise, I will come online and tell you guys that I was wrong. But I can assure you, we are here, Ambazonians. We shall see. I wish the Biafran people the best. I wish them all the best for their struggle. I respect the Biafran. Listen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I respect him. I respect the Biafran people and their struggle, honestly. But the Ambazonian people, we must stay on our lane. We have to do our own thing for our own people, to free our people. The help is not coming from outside. We must fight from within and free ourselves. And that is my message. Anybody who is trying to make any shortcut or trying to play any trick on Ambazonians, no, it will not work. It will not work, Ambazonians. It will not work. So for me, this is what I want to say to you people today. There's more that is coming in the weeks ahead. We are putting the information and the facts together. When everything is clear, we shall produce documents, Ambazonians, and facts of what we are saying. We shall not be baffled. We are not going to give in to the insults and stuff on social media to come out and talk. No, nobody is paying me to do what I do. And I will continue to do what I'm doing based on the directives of my advisors and the team that we have, that we're working with. So go on, sing your song on social media every day as you like. Shout about your AGC alliance with the IPOB as you like. Put your propaganda TV, talk about it as you like. But we are working on the ground also. And we shall get to Boya. The struggle continues. We are going to Boya, every one of us. We are going to Boya. So for me, this is all Ambazonians that I have for you today. God bless you. God bless your weekend. Stay strong. Stay focused to the struggle. Don't waver. Don't give it to insults. Don't give it to bullies. Stay on doing what you know best for the people of Southern Cameroon, putting Ambazonia first. Don't let anybody bully you into submission as they have bullied others to give up this struggle. Don't let anybody do that to you. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going anywhere. Anywhere. So thank you very much and have a nice weekend.